Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Understanding and troubleshooting: the server does not support errors. The error message "the server does not support it" is a very generic error message that can arise in a variety of networking contexts. It essentially indicates a mismatch between what the client, your program or application, is requesting and what the server is capable of or willing to provide. The specific cause depends heavily on the context in which you're encountering this error. To effectively troubleshoot it, you need to understand the underlying protocols and technologies involved. Here's a breakdown of potential causes, along with code examples, where applicable, and troubleshooting steps. Common scenarios and potential causes: 1. HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol web servers. Cause: this is a very common scenario, particularly when interacting with web servers, using HTTP or HTTPS. Several reasons can contribute to this. Unsupported HTTP method. The server might not support the HTTP method you're using, example put, delete, patch if it's a simple read-only API, or less commonly trace, connect. Unsupported HTTP version. You might be using an HTTP version that the server doesn't understand, though this is becoming rare. Most modern servers support HTTP/1.1, HTTP/2, and HTTP/3. Older servers might only support HTTP/1.0. Unsupported request headers. The server might not understand or allow certain HTTP headers you're sending in your request. This is particularly true for custom headers. Unsupported content type. The server doesn't accept the content type you're sending in the request body, example application/JSON, application/XML, text/plain. This is common when sending data to an API endpoint. Endpoint doesn't exist. The URL you're requesting doesn't correspond to a valid resource on the server. This is often a 404 error disguised by a more generic message from a proxy. Server configuration. The server might be configured to block certain requests based on its configuration, example firewall rules, access control lists, or rate limiting. Reverse proxy issues. If there's a reverse proxy, like Nginx or Apache, in front of the actual web server, the proxy might be the source of the error. It might be configured to reject certain requests before they even reach the backend server. TLS/SSL protocol version mismatch. If you are using HTTPS, there could be a mismatch between the TLS/SSL protocol versions supported by your client and the server. Older clients might only support older, less secure versions. Code example, Python with requests library. Troubleshooting steps. Check the HTTP status code. Examine the HTTP status code returned by the server. Common errors include: 405 method not allowed. The server doesn't support the HTTP method. 406 not acceptable. The server cannot produce a response matching the accept headers sent in the request. 415 unsupported media type. The server doesn't support the content type of the request body. 400 bad request. A generic client error, but can sometimes be caused by unsupported headers. 404 not found. The requested resource doesn't exist. 500 internal server error. While technically a server-side error, sometimes misconfigured headers on the client can cause a 500. 502 bad gateway/504 gateway timeout. Usually indicates a problem with a reverse proxy or load balancer. Asterisk examine the server's response headers. Asterisk look at the allow header. This header, if present, indicates which HTTP methods the server does support for the requested resource. Also look at the accept and accept encoding header to see the supported content types and encodings. Asterisk review the API documentation. Asterisk carefully read the documentation for the API or web service you're interacting with. Pay attention to the supported HTTP methods, content types, required headers, and expected data formats. Asterisk use a network sniffer / inspector. Asterisk tools like Wireshark, Dump, or browser developer tools, network tab, can capture the raw HTTP requests and responses. This allows you to see exactly what's being sent and received, which can help pinpoint discrepancies. Asterisk simplify the request. Asterisk start with a minimal request, example a simple GET request without any custom headers or request body, to see if that works. Then, gradually add complexity until you identify the problematic part. Asterisk test with curl. Asterisk the curl command line tool is invaluable for debugging HTTP requests. It allows you to easily specify HTTP methods, headers, and request bodies. For example, asterisk check server logs. Asterisk if you have access to the server logs, example Apache access logs, Nginx error logs, examine them for error messages or warnings related to your requests. This is often the most helpful step, as the server logs often provide the most detailed information. Asterisk reverse proxy configuration. Asterisk if you're using a reverse proxy, like Nginx or Apache, check its configuration. The proxy might be configured to block certain requests or modify headers in a way that causes problems. Asterisk firewall. Asterisk ensure that firewalls are not blocking the necessary ports or protocols. Asterisk TLS/SSL debugging. Check your local system's TLS/SSL configuration to make sure the server's desired TLS versions are supported. Update your OpenSSL library or the libraries your application uses. Asterisk review client configuration. Ensure the client does not have any restrictive settings that prevent it from negotiating or using the server's capabilities. 2. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol email servers. Asterisk cause. Asterisk when sending emails, this error can occur if the mail server doesn't support a particular feature or extension you're trying to use. Common issues include asterisk authentication methods. Asterisk the server might require a specific authentication method, example TLS, SSL, startles, that your client isn't using. Asterisk unsupported startles. Asterisk if your client is trying to use startles, upgrading a plain text connection to TLS, the server might not support it. Asterisk invalid credentials. Asterisk incorrect username or password for authentication. Asterisk message size limit. Asterisk the server might have a limit on the size of emails it accepts, and your message exceeds that limit. Asterisk relaying issues. Asterisk the server might not be configured to allow you to relay emails through it, example you're not authenticated or your IP address isn't whitelisted. Asterisk domain authentication, SPF, DKIM, DMARC. The recipient's mail server might reject your email if your domain's SPF, DKIM, or DMARC records are not properly configured. This is a common anti-spam measure. Asterisk code example, Python with some plib. Asterisk troubleshooting steps. Asterisk check SMTP server settings. Asterisk verify the SMTP server address, port, and required authentication method, TLS, SSL, startles, with your email provider or system administrator. Common ports are 587, with startles, and 465, with SSL. Asterisk enable startles. Asterisk most modern SMTP servers require or recommend startles. Make sure your client is configured to use it. Asterisk use app passwords. Gmail. If you're using Gmail and have two-factor authentication enabled, you'll need to generate an app password and use that instead of your regular Gmail password. Go to your Google account security settings to create an app password. Asterisk verify credentials. Asterisk double check your username and password. Asterisk examine SMTP conversation. Asterisk use a network sniffer, Wireshark, or your client's debug logging to capture the SMTP conversation. This will show you the commands exchanged between the client and server, which can help pinpoint the problem. Asterisk check server logs. Asterisk if you have access to the SMTP server logs, review them for error messages related to your connection or authentication attempts. Asterisk test with Telnet. Asterisk you can manually test the SMTP connection using Telnet. This helps isolate whether the issue is with your client code or with the underlying connection. Asterisk SPF/DKIM/mark. Verify that SPF, DKIM, and mark records are properly configured for your sending domain to prevent the email from being flagged as spam. Asterisk domain reputation. Asterisk check if your domain or IP address has been blacklisted for spamming. 3. FTP, File Transfer Protocol file servers. Asterisk cause. Asterisk in FTP, this error usually means the server doesn't support a command you're sending, or the server's configuration restricts certain operations. Asterisk unsupported command. Asterisk you're trying to use an FTP command that the server doesn't recognize or doesn't allow for your user. Asterisk passive/active mode issues. Asterisk problems with passive or active FTP mode negotiation can lead to data transfer failures. Asterisk permissions. Asterisk you don't have the necessary permissions to perform the requested operation, example creating a directory, uploading a file. Asterisk firewall issues. Asterisk a firewall is blocking the data connection in active or passive mode. Asterisk FTP over TLS, FTPS, issues. Asterisk problems with the TLS/SSL handshake during FTPS connections. Asterisk code example, Python with ftlib. Asterisk troubleshooting steps. Asterisk check FTP server logs. Asterisk the FTP server logs are crucial for diagnosing the issue. They'll often contain detailed error messages related to the command you're sending or the permissions you lack. Asterisk use a dedicated FTP client. Asterisk use a dedicated FTP client, like FileZilla, WinSCP, to connect to the server. These clients often provide more detailed error messages and support for various FTP features. Asterisk passive versus active mode. Asterisk experiment with switching between passive and active FTP modes. Passive mode is generally recommended, especially if you're behind a firewall. Most FTP clients allow you to configure this setting. Asterisk firewall configuration. Asterisk if you're using active FTP, make sure your firewall is configured to allow incoming connections on the data port range specified by the FTP server. In passive mode, ensure that your firewall allows outgoing connections on a wide range of high-numbered ports. Asterisk permissions. Asterisk verify that your FTP user has the necessary permissions to perform the requested operation, example writing to the target directory. Asterisk FTPS, FTP over TLS. If you're using FTPS, ensure that your client supports the required TLS/SSL protocol versions and cipher suites. Also, verify that the FTP server is properly configured for FTPS. Asterisk examine the raw FTP conversation. Asterisk most FTP clients allow you to view the raw FTP commands being sent and received. This allows you to check the exact commands being used. For database connections, SQL, NoSQL. Asterisk cause. Asterisk this error can occur if the database server doesn't support a feature or protocol version your client is trying to use. Asterisk unsupported protocol version asterisk you're using an older client library that is not compatible with the database server's protocol version. Asterisk authentication method asterisk the database server requires a specific authentication method that the client isn't using or doesn't support. Asterisk unsupported SQL feature asterisk you're trying to use a SQL feature, example a specific function or syntax, that the database server doesn't support. This is especially common when working with different database vendors, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. Asterisk connection encryption asterisk the database server might require encrypted connections, example using SSL/TLS, and your client isn't configured to use encryption. Asterisk code example, Python with psychopage2 for PostgreSQL. Asterisk troubleshooting steps asterisk. Asterisk update client libraries asterisk make sure you're using the latest version of the database client library, example psychopage2 for PostgreSQL, MySQL connector Python for MySQL. Newer versions often include support for newer protocol versions and security features. Asterisk check database server logs asterisk examine the database server logs for error messages related to authentication failures, protocol mismatches, or unsupported features. Asterisk verify connection string asterisk double check your database connection string, host, port, database name, username, password, for any typos or incorrect settings. Asterisk SSL/TLS configuration asterisk if the database server requires encrypted connections, ensure that your client is configured to use SSL/TLS. You may need to specify SSL certificates or other SSL-related parameters in the connection string. Asterisk authentication method asterisk verify that the authentication method used by your client is supported by the database server. Some databases support multiple authentication methods, example password authentication, certificate authentication. Asterisk SQL compatibility asterisk if you're encountering errors when executing SQL queries, ensure that the SQL syntax and features you're using are supported by the specific database vendor. SQL dialects can vary significantly between databases. Asterisk firewall configuration asterisk make sure that firewalls are not blocking connections to the database server on the appropriate port, example 5432 for PostgreSQL, 3306 for MySQL. Asterisk database user permissions asterisk ensure that the database user you're connecting with has the necessary permissions to access the database and execute the queries you're trying to run. 5 WebSockets. Asterisk cause asterisk with WebSockets, this could indicate a mismatch in WebSocket protocols or extensions. Asterisk protocol version mismatch asterisk the client and server must agree on a WebSocket protocol version, example RFC 6455. Asterisk unsupported extensions asterisk if the client requests a WebSocket extension that the server does not support, example compression, the connection may fail. Asterisk sub-protocol mismatch asterisk if the client requests a specific sub-protocol and the server doesn't support it, the handshake will fail. Asterisk code example, JavaScript in browser. Asterisk troubleshooting steps asterisk. Asterisk inspect WebSocket handshake asterisk use your browser's developer tools, network tab, to inspect the WebSocket handshake. Look at the SCC WebSocket protocol, SCC WebSocket extensions, and SCC WebSocket version headers to see what protocols and extensions are being negotiated. Asterisk check server-side WebSocket implementation asterisk ensure that the server-side WebSocket implementation is correctly configured to support the necessary protocols and extensions. Asterisk firewall and proxy issues asterisk make sure that firewalls and proxies are configured to allow WebSocket connections, often requires specific configuration. Asterisk subprotocol negotiation asterisk if you're using subprotocols, ensure that both the client and server agree on the subprotocol to use. Asterisk error messages asterisk pay attention to any error messages reported by the WebSocket client or server. These messages can provide valuable clues about the cause of the problem. 2. General troubleshooting tips asterisk asterisk. Asterisk isolate the problem asterisk try to narrow down the problem to a specific request, connection, or configuration setting. The more specific you can be, the easier it will be to find a solution. Asterisk check the basics asterisk make sure that your network connection is working correctly and that you can reach the server. Try pinging the server's IP address or host name. Asterisk use verbose logging asterisk enable verbose logging in your client application or server configuration. This will provide more detailed information about the requests and responses being exchanged. Asterisk consult documentation asterisk refer to the documentation for the technologies and protocols you're using. The documentation often contains troubleshooting tips and known issues. Asterisk search online forums and knowledge bases for similar problems. Someone else may have already encountered the same issue and found a solution. Asterisk simplify and test asterisk reduce the complexity of your setup. Try a very simple request or connection to see if it works. Gradually add complexity until you identify the source of the problem. Asterisk update software asterisk make sure that your client libraries, server software, and operating system are up to date. Updates often include bug fixes and security patches that can resolve compatibility issues. Asterisk reboot asterisk sometimes, a simple reboot of the client or server can resolve temporary issues. 3. Example scenario, incorrect content type in a post request. Let's say you are trying to send data to an API endpoint using a post request, but you get the server does not support error. The API expects data in JSON format, application/JSON, but you're sending it as text/plain. In this example, changing the content type header to application/JSON and using the JSON parameter in requests.post fixes the issue. 4. Important considerations asterisk server configuration matters asterisk the ultimate cause of this error often lies in how the server is configured. You might need to work with the server administrator to diagnose and resolve the problem. Asterisk error message vagueness asterisk this error message is notorious for being unhelpful. Don't rely solely on the message, dig deeper using the troubleshooting steps above. Asterisk specific technology context asterisk the specific steps to resolve the error depend on the exact technologies and protocols you're using. By understanding the potential causes of the server does not support error and following the troubleshooting steps outlined above, you can increase your chances of identifying and resolving the issue. Remember to focus on the specific context in which you're encountering the error and use the appropriate tools and techniques to diagnose the problem. Good luck.